that occurs in this particular chapter. We're going to look and find out that, this was rebellion starts to enter in. I have something, and I'll share that with you in subsequent lesson, something I call 7 root sins. This whole thing, the biggest one that we're seeing here is this rebellion, because God said not to do, gave us a prohibition, and if we obeyed God, we would have remained in His favor and in His state of blessing, and we would have remained in an environment that would have been productive for us, and we would never have known what it would be like to lack and be broken and be suffer the effects of struggle. And so somehow we've got to overcome. So how do we fix what has been broken? I believe that whenever we're trying to fix something that's broken, we got to understand what our problem is in the first place. Every situation that is a challenge or a problem situation, we have to first of all recognize our fault, or we have to admit our problem. We have to define the problem. And once you define a problem, then you have to identify a solution. And I believe that a lot of people think that if we've recognized the problem and identified a solution, we can stop there. But you've got to implement the solution. And so I want to make sure that we're getting to that place. So if we understand how we got here, and that's the importance of Genesis chapter 3, is understanding how we got into our present conditions. What was it that led us? What were the things that led us into the place where we're experiencing the brokenness of life that only Jesus Christ can fix, only redemption can fix? How do we get here? Then we need to know what's the way out. How do we get in here? And we need to know, by knowing how we got in, then we know the way out. Amen? And that's introducing Jesus, because that's introducing redemption. And not only do we want to know how do we get out, but something that's very practical for us today is to know how to stay out once we've gotten out. And so this gives us a good summary of Genesis chapter 3 to understand some things that we're going to talk about and experience in our subsequent lessons and subsequent talks in the book of Genesis. We're going to start looking at brokenness that resembles a lot of things that go on in our families today, in our individual lives, our thought patterns, our actions, our behaviors, and in our hearts. And we're going to understand that we have to look back at Genesis 3 to understand how we got into the broken condition in the first place, because the way that we got in is ultimately the way out. Obedience. God bless you.